Hello, people. Welcome back to another episode of the Nightwalk vlog. It is me, your host, Chad Marco. So, there's some interesting things going on in the video game industry, and I'm sure most of you guys are aware based on the title, and you know what I'm about to go into. Um, and I want to start off like a few months back. You guys remember the whole fiasco. Well, if you're into gaming and fighting games in particular, you guys remember a few months ago in the new Guilty Gear game, they had released a new old character, Bridget. Now, if you don't know, Bridget is kind of like Bridget is famous for being a boy who looked like a girl. His whole backstory was that he was forced to, like, he was raised as a girl as a part of some bullshit village, some bullshit village tradition or something like that. And a lot of people were fans of this character because he was a trap. And, you know, a lot of people love the whole trap fetish and things. Me, right? Like me myself, right? And but the thing was, Bridget was always a boy. Bridget was always a boy. Even though he looked like a girl, part of his story was that he wanted to prove, like, he hated people seeing him as a girl because he knew that he was a boy. Fast forward, when they released him for the new Guilty Gear game, now they're saying that he's transgender. He was transgender all along, right? And so there was this big fiasco where some people were upset because they felt like turning Bridget into a tranny was basically pandering to the transgender community. Like, they were pandering to, you know, wokeness and things of that nature. And of course, on the other side, people were celebrating, like, oh, you know, more trans representation and shit like that. And so, you know, when I saw it, I wasn't necessarily surprised because you're seeing a lot of this shit nowadays where it's just like the simple fact is there's a lot of pandering when it comes to whether you're talking about movies or you're talking about video games. You just know that part of the development process is saying, okay, how are we going to pander to the gays? How are we going to pander to the blacks? How are we going to pander to the like, I think to even the whole Resident Evil, the Raccoon City movie, Leon, a white character, was replaced with some Indian dude. I think they made Wesker some black guy. You look at the Netflix Death Note, they made L a black. Again, you're noticing that they're doing a lot of this shit where they're either making characters gay or they're making characters trans or they're making them female and or black or some shit like that. And you know, the only issue that I have with shit like this is just how forced it is. Like, you can tell that it's all part of pandering. It's all part of just playing into this whole identity politics shit, and it's not organic. It's like, you know, them making Bridget trans is not, that's not some organic shit. Like, they were planning it from the very beginning. If you look at his backstory, even when you look at Japanese culture, as far as how, you know, a lot of characters, like as far as like trap characters, are really common, and for the most part they aren't seen as being trans. Like Haku from Naruto, you know, it's their standard trap character. I forgot the name of the character, but there was a cross-dresser in the Band of Seven in Inuyasha. Again, a very feminine male, but he wasn't trans. He wasn't literally transgender. It was understood, oh, this is a guy. And I think, again, what bothers me about it is that they're taking these characters who were obviously not trans. They were just regular, again, just traps, and they're retroactively trying to make them transgender to fit into to cater to the transgender agenda, to pander to specifics. And that's what really bothers me about it, is that it's so forced, it's so fake. Like, I don't care about a particular character being black or being gay or this or that, but it should be organic. It shouldn't be this situation where you have people in a fucking boardroom saying, okay, but we gotta have a gay character. We gotta have a hey, but you know that's how it's happening. You know these motherfuckers are sitting around saying, we gotta have some trans representation. That's what I don't like about this shit. It's so fake and it's so forced. Like just for example, to a way to do it the right way. A lot of people don't know this, but in Persona 2, Innocent Sin, there one of the characters, I think his name was June, he was gay. And your character, the main character, now you had different romance options, obviously several girls, but there was the one guy, June, that could be a potential romance option as well. And to me, that's an example of how like that was just organic. You can like that wasn't pandering to a specific group. June was a character who just happened to be gay. It wasn't like part of, well, we got to meet our gay quota. We got to meet our trans character quota for the month. You know, or even like Reaver from Fable 2. He was a character who just happened to be bisexual. It wasn't like a big deal. And it wasn't just thrown in your face either. Like that was some information you had to go through his diaries and some shit to figure out. So again, that's what kind of bothers me about this whole shit. It's just like the whole fakeness of it. And what I'm saying is, like, as a creator, when you create the world for that's in your mind that you're going to put out into in the form of a book or a story or a movie, you know, everything that's there is there for a reason. You know, you're sitting there okay, this character, this one, boom, 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 boom. That's gone now. Now it's like you have that, but then there's this other element where it's like, okay, but we gotta have XYZ representation. Like there's not enough black characters, there's not enough trans, and that's really what's so goofy about this whole shit. I don't like look. I could not care less if Bridget was trans out the gate. I wouldn't care less. But it's the fact that I know they changed the narrative of his story because of the times that we're living in, because of the transgender agenda. And when I say agenda, I don't mean to say that in like a negative way. Everybody has an agenda, you know, left wing agenda, right wing. Everybody has an agenda. But I think that it's too obvious. It's too obvious. And it feels like creators now are kind of handcuffed to these new set of rules, where it's like now you literally have to take into consideration how many tranny characters do you have? Like, and you know, with these big video game projects, you have so many different people working on the same team. If you got that one motherfucker that's all into the rainbow flags and shit, when y'all have a meeting, he gonna bring it up, and then you gotta acknowledge him and like, God damn. He talking about, so, well, where's the gay character? And then you just, but now recently that there's been like another incident because of the new Harry Potter game, Hogwarts Legacy, and that shit look dope. I've been ignoring that game for a while, and I saw some footage. I was like, yo, this shit look cool as hell. But anyway, you know, a while ago there was some controversy because J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series, she said some things that were considered to be transphobic. And so now, like, she's kind of been designated as like an enemy of the transgender community. And so people feel like by supporting this game, which is obviously connected to her, you know, it's going to be lining her pockets. They feel like by supporting this game, you're supporting transphobia. And this is where the whole like force shit comes into play. So now there's a character in this game that it happens to be transgender, right? and you just know for a fact it's forced. Like, this ain't some organic thing where it was like, yeah, for years I always wanted to have a no. This is to satisfy and pacify the social justice warriors, the transgender community, and that's what's so lame about it. It's so fake. It's so fake, man, and that's why I really I can't stand shit like that. It's so, like, there's nothing organic or real about these characters being here. And then I think I saw like some posts where they were like explaining, like, we wanted to make sure that we had represent. Again, it's like, come on, bro. Like, it's like these games now are just like, again, it's not about just making the world that's in your head. It's about making the world, but then also making sure that you include identity politics and this group and that group, and I think that kills some of the the true, like, soul and creativeness of these types of projects. But what's interesting about the Hogwarts Legacy shit, though, is that it kind of backfired in a way, because a lot of the people in the transgender community, they're still not accepting it, because and you got to give them credit where credit is due. Like, they're smart enough to know, like, this is just their way of saying, okay, look, we understand J.K. Rowling is transphobic. Look what we did for you. We got a training character. and they're not buying it. And I gotta give them credit for that. But at the same time, it's like the whole situation is still just so messy and ugly, because now it's gotten to the point where it's like there's this narrative that anyone who's playing the game or buying the game or reviewing the game is supporting transphobia. Like, there are certain websites, like, that generally review games that are refusing to review this game because they're doing it, they're refusing to review it to show their allegiance to the transgender community. And again, all this goes back to J.K. Rowling and some of the comments that she made, I think, years ago, and really, in my opinion, weren't even that damn serious, to be real with you. But yeah, I mean, what I'm seeing now, as far as how people are reacting to this, is absolutely disgusting. It's honestly disgusting to me. I'm sorry if I'm talking funny. I got a toothache, but it's really disgusting to me how some people are reacting to this shit. Like, how serious people, like I can't believe this is where we are. I'm looking at how people are reacting to this, and I'm in utter disbelief. But this is what I've always believed, and we're seeing it now. If you never believe me, look at this Hogwarts Legacy shit. Identity politics taken to the extreme is toxic. What we're seeing now is what happens when you take this identity politics shit, and this is its logical conclusion. When you just ride that shit so hard to where it's like, this author said something transphobic years ago. Now, therefore, anything connected to her must be boycotted. Oh boy, it's crazy. And I've been watching Patrice O'Neal. I know I'm kind of going off a little bit, but Patrice O'Neal is considered to be like the godfather of the red pill. And I never forget something that he said before he passed away. Rest in peace, OG. But he said, "Why can't I hate you?" Why can't I hate you? Now, of course, he could speak. The way he spoke sometimes was kind of extreme. But the point he was trying to make, generally speaking, was that, why do I have to agree with you? Why can't I disagree with you? And I think, you know, my whole issue when I look at like this transgender agenda and everything pertaining to it, especially what we're seeing now, it's like what's so toxic about it is that you can't have your own opinion anymore. You got to go along with what they believe and what they want, or you're transphobic. And I don't like that word anyway, because what's so bad about the word transphobic, because when you really think about it, when you call somebody transphobic, you're basically labeling them as a bad person. More or less, that's what you're doing. And I think what's so sickening about it to me is that this word is basically weaponized to bring down anyone who has their own opinion, who has an opinion outside or that is different to what is in line with transgender beliefs. Why do I have to believe that a man can transition into a woman? Why do I have to share in your beliefs on gender and sex? Why can't I have my own opinion? Like, put it like this. If I'm a Christian and you're a Muslim, and then I say, okay, you're Christian phobic because you don't believe what I believe, is that really fair? Is that fair for me to say you're Christian phobic and now it's okay for everybody to dogpile on you and tear you down and take money out of your pockets because you hurt my feelings? What about your rights to believe in your God and what you believe in? And that's how I look at this whole transgender debate. Why can't I have my opinion? Why do I have to believe that a man can transition to why? Or why? Why can't I believe what I believe? And to me, I just think this path that we're headed right now is I don't like it. I really don't. I don't like this shit because it just seems like it's the perfect example of how we are prioritizing feelings over facts. You know, if I sit here and say I don't believe a man can turn into a woman or vice versa, I'm the bad guy because I hurt somebody's feelings. Even though is that really such a crazy thing to say? Dare I say I'm just speaking fucking facts? Dare I say? and, and see, you guys know I love me some traps. I love me some tranny porn. Check my hard drive. You know, so obviously I don't hate trannies. Like, you see, and I think this is the key point that I want to make. Just because I disagree with you or somebody disagrees with you about as far as like your beliefs on gender and sex doesn't mean that they hate you. I might not believe that a man can transition into a woman or a man can turn into, I might not believe that, but that doesn't mean that I see you as less than human. That doesn't mean that I see you as someone who's not worthy of respect just because we disagree. To me, it's no different than, you know, I like Persona 3. Some people prefer Persona 4. We can debate it, we can argue about it, but at the end of the day, is that worth hate? Am I going to hate you because you prefer Persona 4 over Persona 3? Am I going to hate you because we disagree on certain things? No, we just don't agree. At the end of the day, I might not agree with the idea of transgenderism in terms of people being able to transition to whatever dog, cat, male, I'm okay. I'm being cheeky now, but I might not agree, but that doesn't mean that I hate you. That doesn't mean that I'm a bad person. Because at the end of the day, as human beings, I still have your back as a fellow human being. You still have my support. And so, like, I'm not going to just kill this motherfucker. No. If I see you getting attacked by a bear, I'll save your life if I can. You know, I'm not going to be there like, oh, we don't agree on gender ethics. Fuck them. And that's the main thing that I want to see moving forward. You know, just where people can just agree to disagree and move the fuck on, bro. That's all I want to see. where not all this, he's transphobic and homophobic and racist and this and that. And look, sometimes some people really are just dicks. But when it's just a matter of we don't agree with each other, then I think we should be able to at least agree to disagree without saying that somebody has to be deplatformed or we got to boycott their book because they don't agree with us or some shit like that. That's the main thing. And stop the forced pandering shit. God, it's so corny. It's whack as fuck. Damn. Well, this video might get me kicked off YouTube. No, come on, YouTube. Give me a break, man. But I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I'll see you guys later.